This seemingly abstract question is actually at the heart of one of the greatest debates in the history of human knowledge. The question, does the universe have a purpose, is one of the most fundamental and profound questions humanity has ever asked. Since ancient times, when people gazed up at the starry night sky, they have wondered about the origin and meaning of existence. Is the universe, with its unimaginably vast scale and seemingly precise physical laws, the product of a higher will, a grand purpose behind its creation and operation? Or, on the contrary, is everything merely the result of random processes, without design or intention? This question is not just a matter of philosophy or religion. It also touches on modern scientific fields such as cosmology, quantum physics, evolutionary biology, and information theory. The way we answer this question reflects our worldview, beliefs, and ways of thinking. In this video, we'll explore two main approaches. The universe has a purpose, the view that there is a design or intention behind the formation and functioning of the universe. The universe is random, the view that the universe exists as a necessary or accidental result of physical laws without any purpose. We will examine the issue from philosophical, scientific, logical, and even intuitive perspectives. In the end, this video does not aim to force a definitive conclusion, but instead presents different viewpoints fairly, so you can reflect and come to your own interpretation. Stay tuned until the end of the video to think it through and decide for yourself. What is purpose? In everyday language, purpose implies direction, a reason for existence, or a result that is planned in advance. When we say an object has a purpose, we are suggesting that it was created or exists to serve a particular goal. For example, a watch has the purpose of measuring time. A poem may have the purpose of conveying emotions. But does a living being like a human have a purpose for existing? This question immediately takes us into the realm of philosophy and theology. When applying the concept of purpose to the entire universe, we are assuming that the universe is a system that can be assessed in a similar way to human-made objects, which is, of course, a metaphor that comes with its risks. What is randomness? The concept of randomness is often understood as the absence of purpose, order, or predictability. However, in science, randomness does not necessarily mean irrational or chaotic. For example, random processes such as nuclear decay or quantum fluctuations still follow probabilities that are mathematically well-defined. Therefore, saying that the universe is random does not necessarily mean that the universe is meaningless or without laws. Rather, it means that the universe may not require a deeper reason or a metaphysical purpose to exist. In this section, we will analyze the arguments suggesting that the universe is not a random coincidence, but rather the result of an intention or purposeful design. The fine-tuning of physical constants. One of the strongest arguments for the hypothesis that the universe has a purpose is the phenomenon of fine-tuning. This refers to the fact that the physical constants in the universe, such as the gravitational constant, electromagnetic force, the mass ratio of protons and electrons, Planck's constant, etc., have values that are precisely calibrated. If these constants were even slightly different, the universe as we know it would not exist, and life would not be able to form. This leads to the hypothesis: could there be a designer who fine-tuned these parameters to create a universe capable of supporting life? Order and comprehensibility of the universe. A remarkable feature of the universe is that not only does it have order, but it is also comprehensible and can be modeled by humans through mathematics. The laws of physics are universal and can be applied from subatomic particles to galactic scales. Why does the universe have such a logical structure? Why is it that human intelligence, a product of a small planet, is able to understand the principles governing the entire universe? Some argue that this cannot just be a coincidence. If the universe were designed with a purpose, then it would make sense for it to have a structure that can be understood. The impossibility of randomness creating life. The probability of molecules randomly assembling into life, especially intelligent life, is extremely low. For example, the likelihood of a protein spontaneously forming from amino acids is almost zero, let alone the formation of a complete biological system. This leads to the argument that life, particularly conscious life, could be the result of a purposeful universe, rather than just a random byproduct of chemical reactions. Intuition and human inner experience. Many people, through inner experience, meditation, or religion, feel that life has a deeper meaning than what science describes. They sense a connection between themselves and the universe, a presence or will that cannot be quantified but feels very real. Although this cannot be verified through experiments, these experiences remain a significant foundation for many believing that the universe has a purpose. Philosophical and religious arguments. Major religions such as Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism offer profound concepts about the purpose of the universe and the existence of humanity within it. Western philosophy also has many proponents, from Plato, Aristotle, to Kant and Hegel, who support the view that the world has an inherent order and purpose. Modern philosophers like Teilhard de Chardin and Thomas Nagel also argue that consciousness and purpose cannot simply be explained by materialism or natural evolution. They must be an intrinsic part of the universe. In this section, we will present the arguments and evidence supporting the view that the universe does not require any purpose or intention to exist, that its presence is the result of natural physical processes, with no higher plan or will behind it, natural evolution, and the lack of design. One of the greatest contributions to the idea that the universe has no purpose comes from Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Evolution explains the diversity and complexity of life without needing a creator. The mechanism of natural selection has shown that life forms can evolve from simple beginnings through natural laws and random genetic mutations. From this, scientists infer that if life, a complex phenomenon, can arise without purpose, then it's possible that the entire universe is the same. The universe could simply be the backdrop in which natural phenomena occur, without the need for design. The universe could be one of many multiverse. One common rebuttal to the fine-tuning argument is the multiverse hypothesis. According to this theory, there may be countless other universes, each with its own set of physical constants. We just happen to live in a universe where the constants are suitable for life, much like living on one island with fresh water amidst millions of barren islands. This reduces the significance of the extremely low probability in fine-tuning. If there are infinite possibilities, then the coincidence was bound to occur somewhere. The principle of mediocrity. This principle states that there is nothing special about humans or our planet. We are not at the center of the universe, nor are we the result of a predetermined outcome. This is an extension of the Copernican revolution, which demonstrated that the Earth is not the center of the universe. According to this principle, it is misguided to assume that our existence implies a grand purpose. We exist simply because physical conditions are right for life, and this doesn't require any metaphysical purpose. Physical models that do not assume purpose. Modern physical theories, such as general relativity, quantum mechanics, and string theory, describe the universe through pure mathematical equations, without including the concepts of purpose or will. Models like the Big Bang, the expansion of the universe, and galaxy formation can all be described without needing any motive or controlling intelligence. The consistency within these theoretical models shows that natural laws themselves are sufficient to explain the formation and evolution of the universe. The fallacy of human intuition. Humans have a tendency to seek meaning and design in everything, even when none exists. This is an evolutionary response that helped our ancestors survive. For example, hearing a rustle in the grass and assuming there was a predator. However, this also leads to illusions of design. Seeing order and beauty in the universe may simply reflect how the human brain works, rather than being evidence of an underlying purpose. The universe does not necessarily have a purpose just because we perceive it that way. After presenting the two main approaches, the universe having a purpose and the universe being random, it is now time to synthesize, evaluate, and consider them in light of both scientific knowledge and modern philosophy. The difference in worldviews. The viewpoint that the universe has a purpose is often linked to human intuition, religion, or a humanistic philosophy. On the other hand, the view that the universe is random reflects the spirit of skepticism, empiricism, and modern scientific thinking, where data and modeling are prioritized. This difference is not just about logic, but also about how we perceive the value and meaning of life. Those who believe in the purpose of the universe often find comfort, hope, and moral guidance. In contrast, those who believe the universe is random often have to create meaning for themselves in a world without preset directions. Can they be reconciled? Some philosophers and scientists like Einstein, Carl Sagan, and Teilhard de Chardin have attempted to reconcile these two viewpoints. They did not deny the strict natural laws, but they suggested that the very existence of these laws and humanity's ability to understand them hints at a deeper dimension. This might not be purpose in the religious sense, but it could be a higher level of order or logic. Additionally, some modern approaches in theoretical physics and information theory suggest that order, structure, and even life can emerge from what seems like chaos, a neutral approach between purpose and randomness. The limits of our current knowledge. It must be acknowledged that any definitive claim about purpose or randomness exceeds the limits of current scientific verification. Scientific tools are not designed to answer metaphysical questions. Those are the domain of philosophy, theology, and subjective experience. Moreover, the universe we observe is only a very small part, the observable universe, and theories like the multiverse or string theory are still untestable at this point. Therefore, a humble attitude is necessary. We can hypothesize, speculate, or even believe, but we cannot absolutize any argument at this moment in time. The universe having a purpose is a question for you. While science can provide models and evidence, the question of ultimate purpose remains a personal and philosophical one. It depends on intuition, life experience, and individual value systems. One person may choose to believe that the universe has a profound meaning and that humanity's existence is not a random occurrence. Another may choose to find beauty in randomness, in humanity's ability to create its own meaning. There is no definitive answer, only different perspectives. The question, does the universe have a purpose, or is it just random, is not merely a scientific puzzle, but a thought journey reflecting the deep relationship between humanity and the universe. Over thousands of years, humankind has sought answers to this question through religion, philosophy, and, more recently, modern science. We have seen that each perspective, whether the universe has a purpose or not, presents strong, thought-provoking arguments. Those supporting purpose highlight the sophistication, order, and life-friendly nature of the universe as evidence of intentional design. Meanwhile, those advocating for randomness provide strong scientific analyses that show the universe could form and function entirely through natural laws, without the need for any metaphysical purpose or intention. However, the most important thing is not to choose a side, but to acknowledge the limitations of human understanding in the face of a vast and complex universe. Every answer, every perspective reflects a part of the truth, depending on one's viewpoint, experience, and beliefs. As science continues to explore the nature of the universe, the question of purpose will remain, as an invitation for humans to keep searching, keep questioning, and keep engaging in dialogue with themselves. Does the universe have a purpose? Perhaps we will never have a final answer, but it is the very act of daring to ask that question and seeking meaning in the vast void that makes humanity special in this very universe.